To make your annotated bibliography, you're going to use NoodleTools. You find NoodleTools by going to your art history guide and going into the tab called Using NoodleTools. You need to sign up for your account by following the link. If you are off campus, you're going to enter your MEID and password. If you already have an account, you will log in with your username and password. If you don't yet have an account, click Register. Use your MEID as your personal ID. For expected year of graduation, you can put a date or not applicable. Then make up a password, retype it, last 4 digits of your phone number, your initials, and your email. Then click Register. This will take you to your project screen, which for you will be blank. I'm going to log into my account, which will look a little different than yours. My account has several different projects that I've created. If you just created an account, you have a blank screen. To make your first project, you're going to go into the upper right and click Plus New Project. You're going to name your project, and what I'd like you to do is name your project with your first name, your last initial, call it Annotated Bib Art History 102, something like that. You're going to select MLA citation style and junior citation level. And once you fill out that information, click Submit, and you've created your first project. Click on the project to go into the project. This is where you are going to list your 6 sources that you found for your annotated bibliography. This is going to help you create the citation, and it will format your bibliography in the right format when you're ready to turn it in. Once you find a source, you're going to add a new source in the upper right. You have to say whether you found your source on a library database, an open website, or if you have a book or a magazine in your hand. Many of your sources will come from the library databases. Next, you have to tell NoodleTools what kind of a source it is. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a journal article, could be a magazine article, a reference source, or a work of visual art. You will have at least one work of visual art that you are going to be citing. So for example, if I wanted to cite work of visual art, I would select that. Depending on what you input for where is it and what is it, NoodleTools will generate a different form. You need to fill out the information as much as you can. Here is the space where you will put your annotation. If you make a mistake, NoodleTools will generate an exclamation point and alert you that possibly you might want to fix a mistake. And when you fix it, that exclamation point goes away. Fill out as much information as you can. Skip fields that you don't have any information for. For example, if your artwork does not have a specific artist named, you would skip the field for artist. When you're all done, hit Save. Here's an example of a number of items that I found for Art History 101. You'll notice that I have a work of visual art, a reference article, a book, another work of visual art. When I create citations, this is what they look like in NoodleTools. This is not the finished product. If I wanted to edit one of my citations, I would go over to the 3 dots on the right and I can edit. I could also delete something if I wasn't going to use it after all. We're going to go over much of this in class when you meet with your librarian. The thing that's most difficult about NoodleTools is realizing what type of source you have. And if you struggle with identifying what type of source you have, your librarian can help you. When I'm all ready to print out my annotated bibliography, I'm going to go up here to Export Print. I will click on it. I can choose to export to Word or to Google Docs. I'm going to export all of my sources. It takes just a minute, but the really nice thing about NoodleTools is it will format it perfectly for me. It puts it in alphabetical order, it spaces it, it has my annotations, and it looks very, very pretty. You can make an annotated bibliography from scratch, but NoodleTools will do it for you. If I want to go back to my full list of projects, I hit back to my projects. You will notice in my NoodleTools, I have many different projects. You can make projects for several different classes. One of the things that you definitely want to do is add me, your librarian, to your NoodleTools project. So here's the project I made for Art History 102. If I wanted to share this with somebody, I would go over to the sharing column, hit the plus sign. I can share with the teacher's inbox or add a student user. Add a student user. Make that person a full collaborator. And if you, I want you students to add me, your librarian, as a full collaborator. Type in my username, which is Biblio2019, and hit done. All you need to add somebody as a collaborator is their username. So for example, I am Biblio19 and I just added KM Reed as a user. Now I am collaborating with that other user. If you add your librarian, if you add me to your NoodleTools project, I can communicate with you back and forth. If I go into your project and you have a list of citations, I don't have any on this project yet, I can send you comments back and forth, and you will see those when you log in. So I can communicate with you about your project and help you with your sources. So all of this is covered on your guide, and we are going to talk about this when you come to the library for your class. But remember, from the guide, go into the Using NoodleTools tab. And a lot of your questions about how to use NoodleTools will be answered from this guide. You can also contact me at any time if you need help. I will be very involved in looking at your sources. Under Assignment Overview, I have my information under Meet Your Librarian. I can communicate with you through NoodleTools, through the comment platform, or you can just email me at my email address. I want you to be successful in this assignment, and I look forward to working with all of you, and we will talk more about finding sources and evaluating them and listing them on your annotated bibliography when you come to the library for class.